What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video. Today we're going to get into Aaron Glenn commenting on Jordan Travis. Jordan Travis is a hot button issue amongst Jet fans, so I wanted to talk through that. And Tanner Engstrand received some high praise from his former offensive coordinator. So Aaron Glenn spoke with the media yesterday. We covered a lot of the key points, but there was another quote that I wanted to get into because it's very interesting. I find this very interesting that, you know, there's 53 guys on the roster, and the guy that I seem like I get questions on the most is Jordan Travis. And, you know, he did not play a single snap a year ago. He did not have a practice, albeit a snap. He did not have a training camp practice under his belt, an OTA practice under his belt a year ago. But people are still very interested in him and what kind of quarterback is he going to be at the next level, and where is he at in the recovery? And Rich Cimini asked the question to Aaron Glenn, and here's what Aaron Glenn had to say on the conversation.
I think Jordan Travis will be ready to go for OTAs, and what are your plans for him?
Well, I'm not a doctor, so I can't tell you that.
What are your plans for him this year?
If he's ready to play, he's going to compete.
Yeah. I mean, we obviously haven't seen him because of his college injury. How much do you know about him through the scouting process? And what kind of quarterback is he?
Well, from his days in college, I think he was a pretty damn good player. So once he gets a chance to be clear to get ready to compete, he'll compete.
I'm not a doctor. It's a great quote. I'm a head football coach. I'm not a doctor, and I don't play one on TV either. And then if he's ready to play, he's going to compete. That, I think, is the last line is really what sticks out to me. If he's ready to play, he's going to compete. Now, granted, for full transparency, the head coach or general manager is not going to come out here and make any strong declarations on April 1st or at the time March 31st about a player who they frankly haven't seen and don't know what his health status is at the time. They're not going to say, yeah, he's going to come in and he's going to make the roster. I think compete is a fair, reasonable expectation for Jordan Travis going into year two. We really don't know what he is at this level. He was a day 3 pick a year ago because of the injury. Now, you know, in my opinion, best case scenario, if he didn't get hurt, maybe he goes in the 3rd round. I don't think he was going to be one of the top 7 or so quarterbacks that went in this past year's draft class, but he was someone who went on, day 3 because of the injury. And unfortunately, he hasn't played since November of 2023. The reports around this time a year ago coming from his agent, and we talked about this after the agent had some harsh words on the New York Jets, but the scuttlebutt was that he was going to be ready for NFL training camp in August or July or late July, early August in 2024. And he wasn't ready. And then he suffered a setback in the recovery process and didn't practice at all a year ago. So I find it strange. And I know I'm reiterating my point from the last time we talked about Jordan Travis, but I just find it strange that the stance the agent and Jordan Travis have seemed to think is that it's the Jets' fault that he suffered this setback on the injury. But nonetheless, I do believe that he's going to have a chance to make this roster. I don't know if the Jets are going to draft a quarterback in this year's draft class. You know that Justin Fields is going to be the starter. Tyrod Taylor is going to be the backup. And then it'll likely be either Jordan Travis or a rookie quarterback who's taken at some point in this year's draft for that 3rd spot. I don't think it's a guarantee that the Jets take a quarterback. I'm not necessarily advocating for the Jets to take a quarterback, but we'll see how they feel about Jordan Travis in just a few weeks. If they're confident that he's going to turn into anything, then they're likely not going to take someone. And Jordan Travis will be the developmental day 3 project or, 3rd quarterback project that they're working on, which is fine by me. Now let's get into Tanner Engstrand. So Ben Johnson, new head coach of the Chicago Bears, was asked about Jets offensive coordinator Tanner Engstrand, and he said, he is someone I leaned on heavily in Detroit, and that they had many late nights together, hashing out game plans and watching film. I think AG got a really good one. There's always a risk in hiring someone to be an offensive coordinator who is yet to call plays at the NFL level. At least with Tanner Engstrand, he has called plays at some point in his career. Granted, it was at the collegiate level, but he's been around the game for a really long time. And pretty much everyone this past cycle or the last 2 cycles have been hyping up Ben Johnson as one of the best offensive minds in the NFL. And this is someone that Johnson really relied on a lot in Detroit. Now, Tanner Engstrand wasn't calling plays in Detroit, but he was a part of the installation process of the playbook on a week-to-week basis. He was the one who was kind of the middleman between the players and the coaches. It wasn't Ben Johnson who was going over with the quarterbacks and all the skill position groups on what new plays they were installing right away. It was Tanner Engstrand who was the first voice that Jared Goff was hearing and that the wide receiver room was hearing, about the installation process as the pass game coordinator. And he was very involved in those decisions. So again, you didn't get Ben Johnson, but you got the guy who was a part of that offense and essentially, for lack of a better term, Ben Johnson's right-hand guy. He leaned on Tanner Engstrand a decent amount. And this isn't me saying that, Engstrand was more important than Ben Johnson. That's not a fair characterization of the situation that the New York Jets are getting here with their new offensive coordinator in Tanner Engstrand. But I do think he's someone who's ready to make that jump to being a full-time, play caller. And I'm excited. I am cautiously optimistic about Tanner Engstrand. I think, yes, it would have been nice to have someone who has called plays at this level before, which is why Clint Kubiak was a name that I really was kind of honing in on a little bit this past offseason. But for Tanner Engstrand, if you're just looking at the progression of when it's time for someone to get that next job and a promotion and an increase, Engstrand's the guy. He's paid his dues. He did it at the college level. He's been a part of a successful offense for the last few years in Detroit. And now he's going to have a chance to do some exciting things with a quarterback that's really unique. And say what you will about Justin Fields. I have my doubts on whether or not he can be a long-term answer for this franchise. But he's going to have the opportunity to do some creative and unique things because of what Justin Fields can do with his legs. So we come out and see another boring, stagnant offense from the New York Jets in 2025, then you have some legitimate concerns. But I don't know, can the Jets do some creative things with their quarterback who had 1,200 rushing yards not that long ago and have the 20th best offense in the NFL instead of the 28 to 32nd best offense that we've been used to watching the last, forever? I don't know, that'd be some signs of legit improvement and something that I think we can get excited about. So let me know your thoughts on both Jordan Travis and Tanner Engstrand down below in the comments. Once again, I am Matt O'Leary. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll catch you next time.